So this is my first time dehydrating my backpacking meals as of recently, especially potatoes. But let's face it, I don't want to be paying over $15–20 for one meal. And I love the easiness of all these meals where you can just boil water and then quickly fry. This being my first time, I don't really know how this is going to turn out. But my parents just got a air fryer that dehydrates, and I'm going to use the opportunity to try it out. Here I'm taking everything that I grated up, and I'm just trying to get as much of the starch out of it as possible. Once that's done, I give it a good drain and put it back in the bowl with some more water just to try and get as much of the starch out. I don't know if that even matters in this case, but that's what I'm doing. Again, here we do it with the bigger bowl as well. I did like maybe 8 potatoes or so. Not a huge batch, but definitely will help me out for a few trips. And here we just put it in the boiling water. Not quite boiling, but we want it to be the al dente of what would be considered cooked for potatoes. Not quite fully cooked. Here I'm trying to get them kind of like translucent. And then we just put it right into the cold water. I ran out of ice, so it's just cold water, and then we strain it again. These are the ones that are cooked, and you need to make sure you get the cold water all the way through to stop the cooking, because from what I noticed is the heat really gets trapped in there. So yeah, make sure you mix it around, get the cold water all through it. Next time when I do this, I'll make sure I do some smaller batches just so it's simpler to rinse all through, but it worked out fine. Here I realize I need some kind of thing for one of the racks, so I head over, and wax paper seemed a little flammable. We didn't have parchment, so aluminum foil it was. Just whatever I could use. And here I'm just placing all the potato shreds as thin as I can, but I want to make sure it's a full tray so that there's no spots missing. Again, we want it to have really good air circulation. Here's the aluminum foil tray. It's just, there's the holes in it to add extra circulation for the air, hopefully. And here's the last tray. It was a nice mesh tray, so I was able to just place the rest of the potatoes on. This is the temperature I kept it at, 135. And a few hours after, I gave everything a little bit of a stir just to make sure that it was fully drying out. And this was just before I headed to bed, so there's about 8.5, 9 hours left on the runtime. And again, here's that tray that has the aluminum foil on it. It seemed to be doing a pretty good job at this point. And then we just have to put it back in and continue drying for the night. In all, about 12, 14 hours worth of drying. Here we are, just fluffing up the last tray, making sure everything's stirred around, putting everything back in. 135 again. And here it is in the morning. I had turned off before I seen it. But there's everything all dried up. And this is the best part here. So amazing. It's all crushing up fine. It's very dry. There's nothing wet. So to me, that's perfect from my lack of knowledge. And we're just going to bag it up. And these will be about 7 or 8 meals. And there's the finished product. Just one sandwich Ziploc bag, about 8 potatoes.